Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody across the world, and welcome to the HCS European Fall Season. My name is Sims, and once again I'm going to be guiding you through tonight's intense Halo Esports action. As 6 teams dive on into the arena, only 3 more will win, putting some more points on the board, trying to grab a top 4 position in the European leaderboard. As ever, joining me on the desk, I have Mr. Danny G and Harry C. Gentlemen, week number 4, how are we both feeling?
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's a replay of the games that were off stream last week, so it's nice that it's kind of turned out this way. And some exciting ones, maybe some one-sided games coming up, but that's always good to watch sometime.
Yeah, no prizes for guessing which one will be the one-sided affair, but yes, certainly some league table implications in the games coming up later on in the stream, I think. Absolutely
savage as ever, Harry. Wouldn't expect any less than you here on a wonderful Wednesday night. And again, guys, if you are just joining us for the first time, we welcome you along. It's going to be an awesome night. Some people will solidify. I believe we've said some people may solidify themselves.
There's a possibility of FAB doing it if they win and VWS lose.
So how things will go, who will know? There's going to be some quality games. And again, it's kind of Prophecy who are really struggling at the moment, trying to put that 1 point on the board. But we'll speak about that in a second. Let's take a look at the fall season format. You've seen it before, but if you haven't, here it is. The top 6 teams from Europe compete inside the league. All teams do play each other twice during regular season. The top 4 teams advance to the season finals. 5th and 6th place teams fall down to relegation, and they play off against 2 open circuit teams. And, you know, those open circuit teams, they're getting good. We've seen a couple of changes. We've seen some, which we will touch on a little bit later, actually, because one of those is implied here in the fall season. But as you can see on screen, the Pro League began in the 14th of September. Orange County, we have just played out. That was a wonderful event to watch. The November is when you will see the open circuit finals of PGL, and the Pro League will end. December 3rd and 4th and 10th and 11th are going to be your fall season finals. Let's take a look at the first 3 teams that are going to be running in today's matches. Over in the red corner, we do have FAB. Some awesome work on these 2 Respectful, Moz, Jimbo, and 2 Foxy. Riots, Lunny, Chalky, and Ramirez make up VWS. You need to notice the little golden arrow there on VWS. Snakey, Cristola, and Snipe Drone do make up, and Septic make up Team Vibe. Take a look over in the blue corner. We do have our first teams with Batchford, Kimbo, Flux, and Doodle. 57, 20, Vexus and Flames, SLG, Cali, Punisher, and Fragger make up Team Pulse. We've only had 1 team change there so far. Everyone else is looking good. Let's take a look now at Thursday's matchups, how that one kind of played out. FAB Esports took down Prophecy in a 3-0 clean sweep, which we, I think it's fair to say, we kind of expected that one. Now this one, Team Infused taking on Pulse Gaming. This one's a little bit more interesting. This all got tied up at, I believe it was 2-2, an accidental game end coming out of Pulse. Did tie it up. They ended the game 10 seconds early in a Strongholds matchup, which actually leaded Team Infused to tie it up 2-2. Then Team Infused took the final series 3-2, so that would have been a big win for Pulse Gaming, I think it's fair to say. And when you kind of look at how the standings are now, that could have turned the tides. But there's still everything to play for. Finally, down at the bottom there, Team Vibe took down VWS Gaming 3-0. Let's take a look at today's schedule. The matches you will be seeing live on your screen. FAB Esports versus Prophecy. VWS versus Team Vibe. Team Infused versus Pulse Gaming. Gents, any thoughts on these initial matches?
Well, for those intelligent people at home, you'll notice they are the same fixtures. That's how it's meant to play out. So the games we didn't get to see, we are going to see, which is really exciting for me. I'm glad it has panned out this way. I mean, we said earlier, FAB versus Prophecy, I think, is probably a little bit one-sided. Prophecy looking at going possibly 0-7 and maybe even not even having a chance to qualify for finals if certain games go certain ways. But VWS versus Vibe should be closer, especially with that latest addition.
Yeah, and there's some kind of league implications going on in these match number 2 and match number 3. VWS have the opportunity to tie a Vibe in the league if they were to take down Vibe, but last time out that was a Vibe win, and Infuse versus Pulse could be a good one as well. Pulse currently sitting at 5th in the league out of 6 teams, 2-4 record, 2-5. That's hard to come back from, and it would pretty much all but count them out of making the season finals if they were to lose that one. So very important match here for Pulse.
Certainly looking forward to it, and kind of, as you mentioned it there, today is where teams will start to solidify themselves, possibly, and it all depends what end of the board. Are you going to, kind of end up at the top there, or are you going to go drop down at the bottom? I believe we now have the season standings available how we are right now. As at the top there, I don't think we'd expect any less. 5-1 for FAB Esports. I mean, we say we don't expect any less. They actually lost last week. None of us saw that one coming. That's definitely a big confidence boost for FAB. Excuse me.
Well, for everyone but FAB. I mean, everyone can see now FAB, they bleed, they can be beaten, and Infused will more than certainly be pushing on, looking towards finals now. If they had lost that, perhaps they would have been a little bit worried about relegation. We might have seen some changes during the roster swap, but they got the win, and now they can move forward, and I'm really excited to see how Infused play out the rest of their games.
Speaking of Infused, they actually have a lower map win percentage than VWS, despite being above them in the table. So that pretty much just speaks volumes as to how kind of matchup dependent this league really is. It's all about getting those wins on the board. Doesn't matter how badly you lose. If you lose, you lose. But it's all about getting those wins on the board, and that's what Infused have done. 4-2 in the league right now. They're looking pretty good. And
it's all about trying to avoid that red dead zone. 2 teams will end up in there at the end of the season. And unfortunately, they will have to drop down to relegation. 2 open circuit teams will try and challenge them to bag a slot in the next season. But you know what? Let's take a quick look at the news. Now, we have only had 1 team change over here in Europe. And of course, I predict a riot. VWS did release Anima, and Max Cottle has made his way back into the Pro League. Gents, I'm going to open this one up to the table for just a minute. Thoughts on this team change?
Just quickly before Dan jumps in, I just find it
here we go.
Really. Oh well, I'm sorry, but I just want to say I find it really, really interesting, and if anything, it kind of validates the open circuit. The fact that we've had 2 players in this transfer window, both Doodle and Riot, both on the same team, coming from the open circuit, either back into the Pro League or, well, yeah, back into the Pro League. They've both been in the Pro League before, but they've grinded out the open circuit, and it's paid dividends. So it just goes to show, if you sign up for the open circuit and you play in those cups, you certainly have a chance of making it into the Pro League.
I mean, first of all, I love that Riot's is in the league. I'm a big fan of Riot's because he's an ex-teammate, and the more ex-teammates have in the league, that makes me feel better. Like, I could be there, but it's fine. I just commentate. But he always manages to do it.
Yeah.
Riot's, he'll disappear for a while,
back.
But this time he disappeared into the open circuit. He didn't just stop playing. He worked his butt off. He showed that he wanted to play the game, and he's now rewarded with the top team. And genuinely, I think he is going to be a really good fit with Chalky and Ramirez. He's teamed with them before, and they know each other's playstyles, and I think it might work better than Anima.
I mean, honestly, when you think back to MCC and you think of the dominance that TCM was at the time, you know, these guys have been there, they've done it all, they've won several events, not just as a roster, but in previous Halo titles before them. And it's a dominant force, and it was a little, I've got to say that about for you guys, it was a little bit weird seeing Riot's down in the open circuit. I mean, don't get me wrong, in no way, should you not go down there, there's some bloody good players, but kind of seeing him out of the Pro League when he is used to being at that top spot, it did seem a bit weird.
You have to think about how many times has Riot's won a European Championship? Like, countless times. I mean, I don't know the exact figure, but it's been a lot. I know he's been dominant for as long as I've been playing, and you know, I've started playing and retired since Riot's has been playing. So he's been playing a long old time, and he's been at the top for a lot of that as well. So yeah, it's very surprising to see. It was very surprising to see him down in the open circuit, but good on him for grinding, and he's got his just rewards. He's back in the Pro League.
Yeah, I think it was a good thing for him.
Yeah,
I think he needed to kind of get taken down a level, because I mean, Riot's was a fantastic player, but he did struggle last season in the Pro League, without a doubt. I mean, he went -17 at one point. People were questioning his practice and stuff like that. So perhaps getting bumped down to that open circuit, saying, okay, I need to work at this again. Now we might see the BDR that we're expecting to see.
You won't say it to his face, though. Anyway, let's take a look over at what's going on in North America. We've had a 2-week break over in the NA, but you know, are back on the desk, and we have got some incredible matches for you. First up, it's going to be Luminosity taking on Optic Gaming. LOL will find themselves going up against Enigma 6. Evil Geniuses find themselves against Team Liquid. And finally, the #1 Team Envious will go up against Team Allegiance. A lot of roster changes across the board. Honestly, I'm pretty excited. Tonight's going to be a late one.
Yeah, I think it will, but it's almost as if like North America and Europe have kind of traded places, because we haven't had that many roster changes, considering, you know, the history of roster changes in Europe.
Officially, we've actually only had one. Obviously, Doodle was there as a replacement.
Yeah.
So in theory, I mean, that is the... I think you're right, that is the only one team change officially that we've actually had.
Yeah, and clearly some teams in America are saying, you know what, nobody at this point in time, we don't feel like we're ready to catch Optic Gaming and Envious at the top of the league. So teams making changes, trying to make some moves and freshen up the squads, and it's not surprising when you look at the league table.
But yet you see the top 3 standing still with no roster changes, actually. So we've got Team Envious, Optic, and Team Liquid. Moving down to 4th, 5th, and 6th, Luminosity, Enigma 6, and Evil Geniuses. And unfortunately, down in the red dead zone, we have LOL and Allegiance. But, and I will say this now, Allegiance have put up a hell of a fight, kind of like the Pulse Gaming over here. It doesn't justify their position. LOL, though. LOL looks like a different roster completely. They have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tonight. We've got some awesome action. Generally, it's good. We'll see how these teams kind of change up, and we'll see if any of them can start to do better with the team changes. Generally speaking, we always kind of see it. Who knows? But you know what? It's all about tonight and all about European Halo right now. Let's take a look at our first game on your screens. Remember, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. FAB going up against Prophecy. We'll run you through the lineup of the boys in red. FAB Esports from left to right. I believe we're going to be starting off with Respectful once the pictures do kick in. There we go. Respectful, Moz, Jimbo, and 2 Foxy. You know these boys. They are the powerhouse team of Europe right now. The reigning summer season champions also.
Oh, that's what Respectful looks like without a storm rifle. Oh, okay.
That's what he also looks like when he's not putting his hand in front of his face for his Twitter profile.
Yeah,
that's actually a full face.
There's halfies and, you know, selfies with the hand in front of the face.
I don't know
That's
why he
halfies.
does it. He's a good-looking chap as well. I don't think he needs to do this. Don't need, no homo, no Kappa pride in chat, please. But I mean, Brandon's a good-looking chap, so don't hide your face, bro.
Well, that got a bit weird. Buck 57, Buck 20, Vexus, and Flames will make up your Prophecy roster. And you can see by the T-shirts, they were many members of the X-Epsilon roster. Gotta say, interested that these guys didn't make a roster change.
I mean, we've seen it before. The Bucks have always said that you want to stick as a team. If you practice, you'll eventually get there. And also, I mean, they were pretty much... They're going to struggle to get to finals anyway, so why kind of burn those bridges? Why ruin some friendships when you can just stick together and maybe work on it for next season?
Yeah, it's the Buck way, isn't it? I just really like how they were wearing actually different Epsilon jerseys, despite being identical twins in their ESL pictures there. You know, we're just judging the pictures here, Sims. What can I say?
Is that my appalling Photoshop? So you just started?
No, I think one of the images is just flipped.
Yeah, no, maybe.
Yeah, that's my mistake. Is that you just actually pointed out on stream.
Okay,
anyway, moving
we all
on.
make mistakes, Sims.
This is our best of 5 layout. They are going up against FAB Esports. They've got a hell of a mountain to climb. Plaza Strongholds game number 1, Coliseum Slayer game number 2, and game number 3 will be Truth Capture the Flag if 4 and 5 are needed, but we don't think they will be. It will be a back-to-back Rick, Strongholds, and Slayer. The first best of 5 of this evening is now underway. Use the hashtag HCS, tweet the stream, let everyone know what's going on. We've got some fantastic European Halo esports action. Remember to tweet, or in fact not tweet, make a post on Facebook as well. You can still use that hashtag HCS. We'll be trying to retweet a few of the best ones. And you know what? If you've got any memes, tweet us your most spiciest cook-up by all means. We want to have a look at some of those. Strongholds on Plaza is live. 100 points is the score. The first one to get to that will take the win. Any particular person you want to kick this one off with, gents?
I'm going to let Dan decide.
Yeah, let's stick with Buck 20. I mean, I called him out and said he's negative 74. I mean, his brother obviously got a lot of stick recently for, well, I say recently, for the, like, history of time for kind of going negative, but Buck 20's been not performing so well this season, but it has been a struggle for this whole team. They've kind of been on the back foot, but they usually start games well, so if they can get ahead against FAB, then maybe they've got a chance, but at the moment, this doesn't look like the best of starts.
I like what Jim did there just for a second. He just paused just to make sure he could line that one up. He's going to tuck out of the way for a second. 2 people will challenge him. Grenade goes in. Down goes 20. Not chasing that kill, which I do like. He's just going to stay here for a second. Try and get his health back. Unfortunately, he does drop down on the POV of Foxy, then taking up on Gold Window. Checking around. Buck 20's going to challenge him. Unfortunately, his teammate does push him back, so Foxy is forced to drop down. We will move on to Moses' POV just as he dies, which is rather unfortunate. We'll go across to Respectful, who's now pushing bottom mid.
And one thing I've noticed about FAB is they are always there at top orange, top gold, whatever you want to call it. They just command that area. One thing that Pulse did very well against them was just using that sniper to keep them and not allow them to get that that height advantage, but that is definitely one thing FAB do perform well in this game time.
So we've got 20 hiding up on S4. He sees one. Spots two. There's going to be Moze there with no shield. If you want to kill him today, that's absolutely fine. Does pick up the double. Takes his time with it. And now they're in a good position. Still no points on the board, unfortunately. They did have top middle control. He's going to try and drop down to bottom mid and take out. He just dips. Ooh, nice little kill there. I didn't expect that player to be hiding around there. So he does get one. Jimbo's going to be checking S4 to make sure no one's there. The grenade goes in. No hit markers are found whatsoever as 20 will try and advance onto the garbage truck. But just as he does that, he is absolutely wiped out. At the moment, it's just... I feel like it's the same old FAB we're watching. It's just kind of slay him, pick up points when we've got a bit of time.
Yeah, they didn't force Prophecy too far behind. Prophecy actually managed to get the triple cap as well that you did notice, so that's how they got those 6 points on the board. But now you see them all just stuck there in yard, and they're trying to escape as best as they can, but FAB are just positioning themselves all around the map to make sure there's no easy escape route. Looks like we did have a disconnect, though.
Unfortunate. Yeah, we've got a bit of a disconnect there, and that's rather unfortunate. So we'll get a comment from the admin team to let us know where we stand when it comes to the point scoring, but I believe it's the deficit. Mentioned this rule before.
There's a difference between the two teams, I think. You basically maintain your lead. You start from 0 again, but you just get the points difference that you have between the two teams. I'm pretty sure.
If only you were here to tell Pulse that last week.
Well, that's,
wow.
well. Whew.
Wow.
Are you just taken over by savageness right now?
You went there.
Are you just sensing I'm a little bit tired and you're like, hey, you know what, I'm going to pick up the savage slack a little bit?
You said you were struggling today, Harry, so I thought I'd help you out.
I've had like 5 cups of tea. I'm literally, this is the most caffeine I think I've ever had in my whole life.
So just to confirm, FAB do need 80 points to win, and Prophecy do need 100. We'll get the lobby booted up as quickly as possible. Are you? Are we good? Is anyone? Are we looking there? We are indeed. So the lobby will be going live in just a second. Sorry, I caught a glimpse of it in my eye. That's completely my bad. Yeah. I don't want to say a little bit messy, but it just felt like it was just kind of slay him and we'll pick up points when we really want to.
Yeah, well, the silver lining for that server kind of issue there is the fact I got all the shortcuts done.
Oh, well.
In the first game, which means the viewing experience will be a little bit better this time around.
You hope so?
Maybe. I can't guarantee anything.
I mean, to be fair, that's what you are paid to do, so I'm hoping so.
That was...
yeah, sorry. I never signed a contract.
We did say, though, that 4-pot noodles would be worth turning up today, so...
you have no proof.
It's actually been recorded.
Can I talk about the game yet?
Yeah, why not?
So Prophecy didn't start that game very well at all. Like, compared to how they have performed this season, usually they're really strong starters and then they struggle later on, but FAB just shut them down immediately, and I feel if that's going to happen, then this is going to be a disgustingly one-sided game. Yeah,
one thing I did like seeing, though, out of Buck 20, he was focusing on getting those slays. We saw him pick up the rifle, he was just maintaining that for a little while. We saw Jimbo getting the first camouflage, so Jimbo just, you know, doing what he usually does. I mean, when you give Jimbo a camouflage, that's going to be bad news bears for the rest of the game. But I like the fact that Buck 20 was prioritizing that rifle, getting himself an upgraded firearm and focusing on slays. He clearly must have been, you know, listening to us last week, maybe ripping into him a little bit about being the most negative player in the league. So maybe he wants to make amends this week and try and put up some big numbers. Well, we will find out. The spectator button is now ready, so we're going to be going into this game number 1. Map number 1 is of course Plaza. Excuse me about my words today. I've got a bit of a chesty cough, and it's. You got to put your teeth in. Yeah, it's not necessarily my teeth. It's just I've got a bit of illness, bit of ailments. I'm going to pass it to you guys. So honestly, you may be walking away from this studio tonight, and tomorrow you're going to be feeling rough. So. Well, I was feeling ill last week, and now I'm feeling great. So was I, and I feel okay now. Got to share, boys. Yeah. Caring is sharing, and sharing is caring. But again, if I mix up my words, I do apologise. Speaking of sharing is caring, you should tweet the stream. Yeah. See, easy not only to control and drive the stream, but hey, do social media as well. Guys, the game is now live, but jump into a POV and see where this one sends us. So, as you can see on screen, FAB Esports needs 80 points. Prophecy still need 100. Kicking things off with 57's POV. And again, they're trying to contest this camouflage early on, but I don't think Jimbo's been able to grab it as easily as he was last time, so better positioning this time from Prophecy, and I guess that is one of the benefits of a restart, is you can kind of suss out the opponent, but unfortunately with 2 members going down with Prophecy, it does mean that Jimbo is once again able to grab this camouflage. Yeah, Jimbo with back-to-back camouflages after the restart, and it's just like, how do you allow Jimbo to do this twice in a row? I mean, you saw him basically get it for free the first time round. How do you not try and put a little bit more pressure pressure on him and at least take him down. Buck 20 will take him down in the end, but you've got to say, once again, it's FAB scoring, and they're looking very good so far.
And you did just see Mose and Respectful both picking up kills as well. Those guys are plus 67 and plus 63 across the league right now, so I feel Foxy and Jimbo are just kind of letting those guys run loose, really, and then just playing around them.
There's no way out. I mean, you see that. It's just completely squish a guy into a corner and take him down. We had Buck 20 just kind of hanging around for, I think it was Buck 20, were hanging around for a little bit, and you saw them holding on that bottom mid, and all of a sudden 3 people come in, just completely wipe him out. Points, once again, ticking on the board. 2 Foxes going one-on-one, BR in hand, and look at this, it's the same old thing. There's never one single player. His teammate walks in, giving him some support. He's got full shield. Look at that! Bang, bang, bang. 3 assists in a row, they're all dead.
Yep, and this is scary territory as all of the Prophecy squad are all going down in waves. They're not all going down at once, so it's not like they can all group up. They have to basically give up some points here, and 2 Foxy rotating away from the yard is going to allow some of the Prophecy players to push in, but you can already see this is just clean-up control here from 2 Foxy. He's able to push in there if there are 3 Prophecy players, but look at the help he has. Mo's taking down 20, 2 Foxy taking out Flames, Vex Zeus going down as well, and this is getting pretty darn ugly.
Golden arrow after golden arrow. Assist, assist, assist. Triple capped it in full effect. 20's going to move his way over to Snipe. As soon as he does that, he just gets 5'd in the face.
It does not matter where they go right now. There is a FAB player to greet them at every door, every hallway, every corner. These guys are playing out of their skin. This is absolutely filthy. This is how you play this game type. Do not let your opposition breathe whatsoever.
I'm worried.
Can we just say that wasn't actually just a goose, that was double goose?
Yep. 2 geese.
Wow, this is
gaggle.
Nasty.
It's a gaggle of geese.
Oh my word, you actually got it correct. 9:50 remaining on the clock, and this looks bad. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see the FAB train has opened up. 2 Foxes allowed to grab that camo, and only 1 bullet in him. No one really watching it or taking care of it. Vexus is forced to go back into Cafe. 57's going to try and get that, but unfortunately shut down with a shotgun just as quickly as he gets called out. 3 members now all caught up. We got 1 person, 57, jumping top mid, trying to find this.
Where'd he go?
Play. Oh, he's actually got above him. So he does get away with his life, at least. There is some sort of kind of silver lining to that cloud.
Yeah, there's not an extra death on his scoreboard, which is always going to be good. But with 3 points in the control of FAB and just 80 points needed in total, that is going to be game over for these guys. And that was a really commanding position.
At least they didn't get a goose, though.
No,
they
didn't. He got a couple of breadsticks, but I think FAB were just having so much fun, they kind of forgot to end the game right there. They forgot they'd won. They were just like, hey, should we go for the 100-0? We count that as a 100-0, by the way?
Yep. Let's take a look.
Prophecy got some points in the first game before the restart, so I'm not sure if we can, but oh, the breadstick.
Oh.
William, breadstick.
2 Foxy going in as ever, 10 kills, 4 captured as well, so most and most doing work with the shotgun. But the one thing that I took away from that entire game was the pure amount of teamwork. The assists, kind of, I don't want to say, I mean, we can't see them on the screen at the moment, but we saw many a gold arrow poking up.
You know what's funny? Respectful got more kills than the entire Prophecy squad combined, and he wasn't even the top slayer in the game.
That's not funny, that's just mean.
It's kind of upsetting, actually.
The great thing about FAB is how well they push strongholds. I think Jimbo has the most strongholds secured across Pro League. It's something like 25, so that's just how quickly he's going to push around the map and make sure that they kind of secure those strongholds and stop the opponents from getting them. But you saw every time that Prophecy were on spawn, FAB would just swarm in and swallow anything that got in their way.
Brutal, savage.
Feels Prophecy, man.
It does. It feels pretty bad, to be honest with you. But, you know, hey, worst things have happened. It's game number 1. Push it aside. Let's move on to game number 2. Get the head straight. Get back in the game. We'll bring you the series layout up in just a second. So if you are joining us, you know where we stand. We're now moving into a Slayer, though. After seeing those kind of stats, for me, it's ringing alarm bells. But it is Coliseum. Any stats for this one? Is there a silver lining?
Do you want to know Prophecy's Slayer record?
The question is, do I want to know?
No. They are 4 wins, 33 losses. They are 4 and 33 on Slayers. 11% win percentage.
So
that's pretty depressing.
They played this last week. They lost 50-32, which isn't that bad a score, I guess, considering what we just seen there. Perhaps they can learn from that and they can take something from that. I just want to see a strong start from Prophecy to just kind of set the game straight and get an early lead here.
It annoys me because I know these guys can perform, and I know these guys are damn good top Europe. I don't care what anyone says, they are top European players. Things just ain't right with this roster. I'm stunned they're in. I mean, I respect it, and I respect for sticking together and trying to make it work, but I'm just stunned there's been no team change.
But who do you bring in?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I
the
think
question.
that's my main problem. Yeah, and who do you get
I'd have
rid
been
of?
grabbing Anima personally.
But well, okay, well they may not have known that was going to happen. I mean, that may have been a very
Mate,
secret
this
thing.
is European Halo. Everybody knows what's going to happen before even teams know what's going to happen.
Harry, when did you find
I
out about
didn't know.
Riot's joining?
You Snapchatted me earlier.
Saying,
today.
BDR!
Yeah, BDR.
Wonder
Back in
Boy
the day.
FPS back at it again, as ever. Good stuff.
Hey, why you guys?
But there's the thing, there's no one from that team I'd want to get rid of either, from Prophecy. I think they're all great guys, I think they're all fantastic players. I don't really think there's a weak link. I mean, statistically, okay, if I was going to look at it from an outsider's point of view, I would maybe say Vexus. But he's performing the best on the team statistically. I know statistics aren't everything, but clearly he is able to keep up with the big boys.
Hey, at the end of the day, this is FAB they're going up against. You know, we don't expect any less. And the one thing about FAB is they always give 110%. They're not going to give, I don't believe anyway, I don't think they would give these guys any chance. And they didn't in that first round. It showed. Slayer on Coliseum is map number 2. Guys at home, we hope you're enjoying it. Tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. Let everyone know what's going on. We are in map number 2. It's FAB against Prophecy.
Now, one thing that Prophecy were very good at is their starting on Coliseum. They would always secure that sniper and they would pretty much get that rocket straight off, but unfortunately they can't get a break against FAB. FAB just seem to be everywhere. Their grenades are on point, their positioning's on point, and Jimbo was rewarded with the camouflage last game, and now he's got the rockets, and he can just come and support Foxy here, who has the sniper. And again, this could get pretty ugly with all the juicy stuff in the hands of FAB.
However, they do have a bit of a split there. We got some in red cave, but we did actually have somebody else over at blue corner. I believe he's gone down now and being pushed out. We're going to see 57 get tagged up across the map there. No one's cleaned him up yet. I'm more than likely looking for that little golden arrow to poke up any second. 20, just the second he dives out, and you mentioned it, nowhere to go, nowhere to breathe. Rocket lands at his feet.
Yeah, I really like this kind of buddy system that Jimbo and 2Foxy are kind of employing right here. 2Foxy wants to play aggressive with this sniper here at this tower, and that's why he can hit shots like this. But if anyone pushes him a little bit too aggressively, he has Jimbo next to him to take him down with a rocket. And you can see here the distraction medals coming in. And it's pretty tough right now for Prophecy to get a kill on the board because 2Foxy is picking face at long range, and if they try and push him, Jimbo's there to shut them down.
Oh, I've got to say, the teamwork from FAB is just astonishing, especially what we saw last week, them facing Infused, and how Infused kind of shut them down and made them have their first loss ever in Pro League. I think that was a wake-up call for these guys, and you can clearly see they've been practicing hard because they look phenomenal right now.
Finally, they've shut down Foxy. They might be able to get a bit of a breather. Double kill coming out of Jim, but 2 will fall on the opposing side. Grenades are going into red there. No hit markers on him whatsoever, but you know, look at that scoreline. 15-5, moves up to 16. Really respectful. Scatter shot in his back pocket. This is just...
They're breaking my heart right now. This is... it's really...
How do you... You know what, let's talk, because at the moment this is escalating rather quickly.
Yeah.
How do you get out of this? What needs... In all seriousness, how do you defeat this oncoming assault? At the moment, I feel like they're being picked off one by one.
Prophecy have not slowed this down whatsoever. They're off spawn, they continuously keep pushing, and it's just like lambs to the slaughter right now. Every single player is pushing out and they are dying one by one. Slow it down, hide in the base if you have to, let them come to you. Yes, okay, you might just get pincered and you might die, but at least that's only going to be 4 kills in a short space of time and give you more time to think and communicate.
I could be wrong, but I think 2Foxy actually combat evolved these rockets. He was still hanging around the sniper tower. I could be wrong. I did see 57 up there. That's why we swapped over to his point of view. I thought he'd be the one surely to get the rockets, but 2Foxy somehow finds himself with them. Just look at the assist coming in. Yes, 2Foxy is no shield. He will go down in the end, but Jimbo's already there to contest those rockets. He's got them, so the Flames can't get them. He will go down in the end.
He actually held off then, and that kind of speaks... I know he went down, but you could see he did hold off from pressing the trigger just so his teammate could come in and give him a bit of a hand there, and it kind of screams volumes about the teamwork of this. We will see a kill coming out of Vexus. So he takes down both. Give him a couple of bullets to the back of the head. As soon as he goes in, though, tees up a ground pound. Can he get a double? He can pick up one. He can put... Oh, he managed to get one. We had saw Jim just kill his teammate there. So at least he managed to get one out of it. We'll give him that.
I think what's important is bravery as well. You said, what do they need to do to get back into this? And Vexus did well. He flanked round behind. He got behind a few players.
Come on,
and we do get a little bit of a teabag. And I mean, people don't like teabags, but they're all friends here. Like, let's be honest. They've all teamed with each other, and they know exactly what each another kind of how they take those teabags, and it is all in good jest.
Yeah, and it was always it's a blue player as well, and I suppose when you need to kind of do something to try and get the what did you call him last week? Two Fox or Tilt Foxy?
Tilt Foxy, yeah. Tilt Foxy.
Well, we'll see if it can happen. He's known for doing the same, so we'll see what happens on there.
I think it's pretty much impossible to tilt against Prophecy at this point.
Nah, 17 to 33. 8 minutes 18 remaining on the clock. To Foxy on his POV going one-on-one. He does have a player to the left as well. He's going to crouch around, get some support from Moz there over at S3. And again, I can't speak volumes enough about the teamwork that's coming out of FAB right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a point of Prophecy performing badly. It's really just a masterclass in how well FAB are currently playing this map. They are literally everywhere right now, and as soon as they get into a 1v1 battle, you know full well they are screaming at their teammates saying, look, all I need is one shot from you, maybe two, and I can win this fight. And it's just fantastic to see such great teamwork, to be honest.
So, Moses POV, nade goes in, he's going to land not even a hit mark, he's going to crack 57 in the face. His teammate was helping him out. Buck 20 will come in and shut him down. We actually saw Perfect coming out. Respectful does try to get the ground pound thrust back, and we see his teammate clean him up there, Foxy. And now, unfortunately, they got the red spawn, so they're just diving in here. Foxy's got the rockets. 57's caught off guard. He's going to be half shield. We go around this corner.
Yeah, 2 Foxy is an angry Foxy right now. He's just starting charging people, man. That's how angry he is. After last week's loss, he wants to make amends, and it looks like FAB are well on their way to do so here in game number 2. But what I wanted to touch upon is how well FAB are really playing. I mean, every single time we see one of the FAB players come under fire, there's always a teammate there putting down suppressive shots to help that player out and get them out of trouble. So it's just fantastic work all around. GPK.
He at least had a go though, you know what I mean? I suppose you've got to try. When you hear that buzzing in the ears and you know someone's going to come Supermaning into your face, what do? You might as well aim up and see if you can shut him down. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work whatsoever. One more kill to seal the deal. Can we see a stake? Bounce it off the wall. Doesn't quite land it. Final score, 50 to 25. That is a very commanding statement.
And I'll tell you what, I was pretty hungry, so thanks for the steak.
I appreciate it. And it's, I mean, how do you like it? Well done.
I like mine rare. Well done. Who has steak well done?
Well, I always used to be a well done kind of guy until I had it blue once, and I've never gone back.
Changed your life. Well, we don't want to talk about steaks too much around Prophecy because it doesn't happen very rarely. It happens a lot, unfortunately, for these guys. They are really struggling so far. 17 kills coming out of Respectful. He's going to be adding to that disgusting kill-death ratio that he currently has across this league. And Foxy as well. Foxy actually is the only player who is currently negative. He is changing that today.
You know what? Respectful's just stat padding. Guarantee he's just playing for stats right now. That's Respectful in a nutshell. No, I'm only joking. End of the day, this is FAB. You don't expect any less. They give 110% every single time. A little bit unfortunate for Prophecy, but they didn't give up. They still carried on playing to the end. It was a very nasty scoreline. One more game. Anything can happen. It's looking really bad. I'm not going to lie. Things look devastating, but it's not over until it's over. You've still got another... We have tomorrow, so we've still got another 3 days of regular...
You know,
3 match days. Anything is possible. This is Europe's #1 team right now. It was always going to happen if we're, if we're going to be fair on this one.
The sad thing is, Prophecy physically cannot qualify if they lose this and VWS win later. So they are going to be watching that game very closely. If they do not get the win here, we have seen them reverse sweep before and get the 3-2. So, I mean, I want to say it's possible, but I'm really struggling to say that with any real
feeling.
Believing in my... Just, yeah.
I know
it's tough.
The stats don't lie.
I know it's hard to imagine at this point in time, but I truly believe that Prophecy are actually enjoying their time.
Yeah,
playing games together. I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, otherwise you're just, getting stomped for the world to see. At least, if you're having fun while it's happening, it's not so bad, right? So, if anything, I want to hope that Prophecy are having fun while this is happening.
Let's just take a moment to remember as well. I know he was the coach at the time, but this is still 3 members of Epsilon that made top 8 at Worlds. These guys know what they're doing. I know things have evolved and come a hell of a long way since Worlds, but this is still, pretty damn good players at the end of the day.
They are, and I guess that says a lot about the EU Pro League. And if you've got our #1 team and just the bottom team, and the sheer gulf in class between these guys, and it's like in the middle you fill those gaps, and it just shows that if players like the Bucks can be losing this badly, how good does that make FAB?
Yeah, does. Hey, again, the stats don't lie. You see what we see. Tweet on screen. Tried to go into my meme bank for a spicy HCS tweet, but I'll find a breadsticks and geese. That's from Matty McD. Our boy Matty over at Reddit Halo. One of the main guys over there. Shout out to you and shout out to the Reddit community. Yeah, there has been quite a lot of breadsticks and geese. I mean, to be fair, you feed bread to geese.
There has been no geese as of yet.
Just the one breadstick, actually.
Whoa, we got a badass over here. Sorry.
It was Vexus. Was it Vexus or 57? It was 57, yeah, because it was Will Breadstick Buck.
Wow.
You
boys are on fire tonight. Game 3, capture the flag on Truth.
You want to know something not very great about
See, you always ask me if I want to know, but you just want to say you don't know.
Prophecy have won 2 capture the flag games and have lost 35.
And how many capture the flag games, I want to know, have they been ahead? We've seen so many times them go 2-0 up and then just throw away a lead. Come on, Prophecy, do us a win!
Well, we've got one trade-off there. The camo will drop, then all of a sudden Jim will come in and clean that one out. Moves on into P2, trying to lock down top mid and grab himself a fuel rod. He says, no, I'm going to take a beat out, go one-on-one with Flames. Flames gets the initial shot, so nice bit of defense there, puts him down. Look at that, though. Absolutely no fear, half shield, but he'll still challenge it. He'll force 20 back off. Then his teammate comes in respectful. Storm Rifle takes him down. Flag's on the way in. Ground pound, town. 35 seconds, we've got a flag count.
It has begun already, and it's painful. I mean, okay, I don't want to just say Prophecy are bad. They're not. FAB are just too good. They are phenomenal right now. Every single little minor decision is always perfect with these guys. Like you say, they are giving 110%, if not 120, if that even exists. These guys are just fantastic.
Do you think that it's safe to say that after... I like what he's doing here as well. He's going to waste the ammo there and get rid of that one so no one else can use it. But do you think it's safe to say that... interesting. We actually got 5. But do you think it's safe to say that after the loss last week, these guys, it's really woken them up?
Well, that's what I said. I think it is a wake-up call, and you can see that they practiced because they look a different team from last week. They looked very lackluster. They looked bored last week. Can I even say that? I mean, now it looks like they really have that fire for the game. They want this win. You can see them pushing on. They're not just allowing these games to go the whole length. They're saying, we want to shut this down. We want to win it quickly. We want to go and have our dinner.
Well, they're going to get some dinner, more than likely. They've already had steak, and now they're just looking for pudding. 10:20 on the clock. Mo's going to run down. He's going to get... oh, he's going to get one to the back of the head. At least Vexler's going to move. Looking across there, Respectful is just hiding over on Car, just putting some great shots. His teammate will come in. Jimbo as well. Again, every single time, and I will not stop saying it's all about these assists. They're just hitting a wall of FAB bullets. But now, at least, a couple of members of FAB going down, so we could have some sign of light. Some sign of life, excuse me, coming out of Prophecy, getting shot in the back. Will opt to try and clamber off the edge, turns around, goes for the reverse ground pound. Perry says no.
One thing Prophecy have to take advantage of right now is FAB are going to be very confident. Means they're going to be taking those 1v1s. They're going to be probably peeking at stupid times and taking battles that they maybe shouldn't. So it's about just saying, look, I'm going to keep watching this angle. If you come here and help me, we're probably going to kill this guy because you know full well he's going to pop back out.
Did we just see Brandon Storm Rifle Stones time the Storm Rifle spawn?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Thanks for the confirmation.
That absolutely says... and, well, you know what? It kind of says a lot about this guy because at the end of the day, no matter what you say about the Storm Rifle, it's an effective weapon. It absolutely wrecks faces. And if it's on the map, why don't you use it? Why not? Look at the scoreboard there. It kind of seemed... it wasn't too far apart. Kind of even... definitely in the hands of FAB, but certainly not exactly completely miles out. But Respectful, just doing what he normally does. Let's hang around. Storm Rifles in hand. Vexu just kind of accepted death there.
And you're right, why not? I mean, if you were given a pair of football boots that could help you score more goals, you'd use them, right? So you're going to use a Storm Rifle that's on the map that's going to help you get extra kills. So too right for timing it. And credit to the guy for being one of those players that does time it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But FAB, despite their early lead, they haven't been able to push in and get that second flag at the moment. I don't know whether they're just more than happy slaying or where the Prophecy have sat back and they're trying to absorb as much pressure before they eventually make their move.
You know what's absolutely crazy? The fact that Moses here on top middle, he knows that Carbine spawn's so weighted, he's by himself, he has no help, and that's really a testament to how strong FAB really are as individuals. Mose will in the end go down. However, Flames' flag is already under pressure, it's being run, so all Flames can do really here is just hope to get the flag out of the FAB base, and it's already just GPK just going to town.
And the one thing that you notice about Jim, and I've always said this, and I'll still carry it. these Spartan abilities, he will abuse them. He absolutely abuses them. The one thing to notice about Brandon, though, is when you just look at the pure amount of thrusting and jumping and sliding that he does, especially even just to avoid bullets, you'll just see them flying through. You kind of saw it earlier on with the sword. When someone was shooting them from over at Carbine, they just kind of jumped and crouched in the air, and abusing these Spartan abilities is something that the top players do best, and it goes with the weapon system as well. If it's on the map, if it's in your arsenal, you know, why not make the most of it?
Yeah, they are all mechanically phenomenal. Just the things they do with the controller is quite sickening, to be honest. But it's a credit to these guys and how much practice they put in, and clearly they are the best players in Europe right now, and it is actually amazing to watch a team like this as Foxy pulls off a disgusting perfect kill with the pistol, and Respectful will be running that last flag, and unless there's an extreme defense coming out of Prophecy, this should be game.
And just look at this, though. I know, fair enough, Moses is already in there, but you can just see Jim. They're just working as a pair, as a little buddy system. He'll push it in. One of them goes back to get his shield. Two of them are diving in there. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Is that the quickest series we've ever seen in the Pro League? I think so. FAB absolutely dominating the bottom feeders Prophecy as they will go down 0-7 in the league. Taking a look at the scoreboard, top Slayer in the game, top Slayer in the league right now, if I'm not mistaken. Brandon Stone's 14 in the game, Mo's just behind him with 13. Two Foxy out there with 12 as well. Jimbo doing the work, just having fun, going to ground pound town. 2 flag returns for him. And on the Prophecy side, really nothing worth noting. Just abysmal all round, as per usual.
Anything else? I mean, you're looking quite disgusted about that comment. Anything else you want to add to that? We'll get, just to let you know, we're going to be speaking to 57 after this, I do believe.
It's now out of their hands for Prophecy. If VWS are to win, Prophecy cannot make finals later on this year. So that's going to be hard for them to take. They're going to be just hoping that VWS do lose so that they still have a chance. Because we know that the Buck Brothers would have wanted to be at finals, but unfortunately, this season they have really struggled.
But one thing I want to point out here, fair enough, if that does happen, there is still something to play for. There is still the fact that whoever comes 5th will get the first choice. So it's not all, I know you're laughing, but it's not all doom and gloom. That literally, that decision could be a decider of survival and relegation.
I mean, last time they came 6th, didn't they?
Yes, they
Dinosaurs
did.
Yes,
so they didn't get that choice, but they both still qualified for the next seasons, because I do think that even though Prophecy, yes, they just got Roffle stomped, I will put my hand on my heart and say they are 5 times better than any open circuit team that we have. I still think Prophecy are a phenomenal side, and they can perform well in relegation.
The one thing to note about when we speak about open circuit teams, and you kind of touched on it at the start, the Unwanted.
Yep.
Such a dominant force. 3 weeks on the bounce, back to back to back, and then all of a sudden, 2 of their members, they're back in Pro League.
Exactly, yeah. You have to wonder whether or not that was the Unwanted's plan all along. See who can play the best to get back into the Pro League, because it was essentially the Pro League rejects. I don't know, man. I just worry about Prophecy. I mean, the fact they haven't been able to take a single best of 5 against other Pro League teams this season is worrying. It just is. I mean, you should at some point, out of 7 games, be able to win at least 1 best of 5 from the other 5 teams in the league. It's very worrying for Prophecy that they weren't able to do that, but, you know, good luck to them going forward, because, well, they need it. That's all I have to say.
Well, you know what? You've actually got 57 on the line. So we'll have a quick word with the man himself. Will, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. How you going?
How has... well, I know it's going to be hard to say this, but how are things back there? Obviously, a bit of a struggle so far. How is the team feeling? I know it's a really crappy question to ask, but what's the general overall consensus?
I think a little bit just demotivated, but we're at the bottom of the table. We've all kind of got full-time jobs, working long hours during the week, and then we come on during the week to try and play. But I think in general, it's normally we play a lot better than that. I think today we're very off. We've shown in previous series we can kind of hang with people. I think just as the league progresses, we kind of realise the ultimate fate that we're 6th place, and kind of it's quite hard to kind of ramp up after losing 6 games, 5 games in a row. So it's quite hard.
It definitely is, and obviously there was a transfer period. Rich said earlier, I'm surprised that there was no transfer made. I mean, credit to you guys. I'm totally with you. I believe that transfers shouldn't be made. I think sticking as a team. Are you kind of looking towards relegation and maybe another season of Pro League, or were you thinking that this is just the best decision right now?
I think at the moment us four as a four, we play well together. It's just a case of I couldn't see anybody that would kind of improve our team right now. There's players out there which are really good, but I think the mix we have works well normally. Today we had a really bad day. I think if we continue practicing and getting the time in when we can around our jobs, we should be okay to kind of hang in again for the relegation like last season.
Will, give me your opinion on the next two games coming up. We have VWS going up against Vibe and Infused versus Pulse. You've obviously had the opportunity to play against all of these teams. Give me your opinion on these games, VWS versus Vibe first.
I think VWS versus Vibe is going to be a close match. I've seen them play quite a lot online. I feel like Vibe have got a lot of slaying power. VWS bring a bit more kind of objective to it and kind of the more kind of clutch flag pulls and stuff like that. But I feel like Vibe should take it overall as long as they kind of keep their heads in the game.
So, sorry, 57, I mean, you used to get a lot of stick for being the worst buck, right? And the most negative bucks. How does it feel that 20 is now the most negative buck?
It feels good. He's always bucked 20 days. So he was always bucked 20 days, even in Halo 3. So I feel like, yeah, I think it feels good. But I think we're both kind of even. We're both very busy at the moment with our real lives. The Halo's kind of coming second at the moment, but and it shows in our stats. So yeah, I think eventually we'll be both back on top in the long term.
Well, credit to you guys for just sticking it out and still playing. A lot of respect for you.
Well,
for doing
I know I've given you guys a lot of stick on the broadcast this season, but so can you please guarantee to me that we're still friends and we're still talking?
Say no.
Yeah,
Say
we're
no.
still friends. Some of my teammates, some of them were like, "Who's that wonder boy there?"
But you know what, Will, and I want to say this to you and all your team. At the end of the day, you're still giving 110%. As you mentioned, you are working full time. You're giving all of your all. For coming in, for still going. There's still a couple of matches to play out. Obviously, this kind of all now resides on what happens with VWS and Vibe. They can kind of solidify your fate, so to speak. But honestly, dude, I want to say thank you for still carrying on. And generally, from all of us here at the desk, wish you the best of luck going throughout and whatever comes after relegation.
Can I ask another quick question?
Of course you can. You're loving life today.
I do like, but you guys were nominated for some awards, weren't you, for Console Player of the Year? Is that right?
Yeah, me and Alex were both nominated for the UK Esports.
How does that feel? Like, that must be an amazing
That's amazing.
So we've been playing together for like 8 years or something stupid, something crazy like that. We're like 23 now, so it's been like a long process of playing Halo together, so it feels good.
Where can everyone in the Twitch chat right now go and vote for you guys for these awards? Is it a public voting or is it?
Yeah, there's public, but I think it's closed. But if not, I'll tweet it on my Twitter at Buck57. So I'll check out my Twitter little plug there. If you see it afterwards.
Cool.
And no matter what, still, both the highest placing. Right, still saying this. Still the highest placing Europeans at American events.
Us, Jim and Mike. So yeah, still the top. And we're still ranking quite high in the kind of earnings as well overall. So it's nice to be at the top.
Hey, dollar.
Money. I mean, who cares about Pro League, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
who cares?
Other than every other team in the league.
I do.
I suppose.
Right, we're going to let you go. Again, thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck with everything. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Right then, guys, so that is game number 1 over and done with. We kind of expected that, but you've got to love him, man. You can't not. Such a nice guy, even though he decided to throw his brother under the bus.
I mean,
still.
but that was the response I wanted, right? If he had turned around and been like, "Oh, actually, can you not ask things like that?" But he didn't, because these are the Buck brothers, and they're great, and they're good friends, and
Sibling
they know how
rivalry.
to respond, and they can take the mick out of each other. They're fantastic guys, and yes, they're struggling, but credit to them. Like I said, full-time jobs at the moment, it's obviously hard.
Now listen here, I got 2 brothers, and if I'm better than my brother at anything, I'm going to let him know. So fair play to him. I mean, I think he'd be pretty happy that he's not the most negative Buck in Pro League right now.
I've always just been a lonely child. Anyway, we'll... Sorry, it's his face.
I came here for the Pro League, not for the fields.
Not for the fields.
Please.
Guys, we're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we will have match number 2 of the evening. Remember to tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. We'll see you in 2 minutes' time.